So it's been a bumpy ride. Maybe deploy a box in the middle with the two false tens. Beto Chuckle is doing this, ladies and gents. It's going to be rough. I'm not looking forward to it. Right, hello everybody, welcome back to the Golden Sky. Once again, I'm Tom, and today it is time for the match preview for the Derby. Liverpool v Everton this weekend, the big one, the Merseyside Derby. Something left to fight for this season, Champions League football as well, on the line still. Let's get into the preview today and go through everything you need to know about us and the Blue Noses in this one. Alright then, so as always to start in the previews, we're going to start with Liverpool's predicted 11, so let's get into that. I've gone this week with Marmadashvili in the net, Frimpong at right back, Konate, Van Dijk, centre-backs, Kirkes left back. They're pretty standard defence that we have been seeing. Probably our first choice defence, in all honesty. In the middle, I've gone Gravenberch and McAllister with Szoboszlai ahead of those two. Although in midweek we did see McAllister ahead of Szoboszlai. I think he'll switch back to Szoboszlai as the more advanced player this weekend. I've gone Mo Salah on the right, I've gone Florian Wirtz on the left, and I've gone Cody Gakpo up front. That's what I think Arne Slot will pick in this one from the players he has available, which honestly aren't that many players. And I just had to have a look into this because when you look at the players we've got available, in the injury list that is ever growing, obviously Ekitike now out injured with the ruptured Achilles for a minimum of 9 months. And an Achilles injury is a very difficult one to come back from. So really interesting to see how he is when he comes back. We'll talk about that nearer the time, I'm sure. But a devastating injury for a player who has been one of our better players this season. A shame that the season has to end on a downer for him as well. There aren't that many players left, though, to pick from, guys, which makes picking a team both easier and more difficult because who the hell is playing where? I don't know. I mean, just let me give you some of the injuries of our players this season. So Alisson, out for the season, as we know, also missed a bunch of time earlier on towards the start of the season. Leone, ACL, out for the full season after playing one game in the Carabao Cup. Gomez is injured again. For this one, Arne Slot asked if he would be fit. He said no. That was all he said in the press conference, just no. He played 15 minutes against PSG, got injured. He's made out of glass, honestly, but like even more breakable than glass. I don't even know how that's possible, but there we go. Frimpong never had an injury once before he came to us. He's missed time 3 different occasions this season through injury, and I'm not 100% sure that he was fully fit when he went off against PSG, to be totally honest. He looked weird, like he'd lost a yard of pace or something. Connor Bradley out injured with a long-term knee injury that we never, or at least I never saw the details of in too much detail anyway. He was just out after the Arsenal game. He also missed time earlier in the season. Endo missed a long time in the season, and then he got a season-ending injury in the one game he started against Sunderland, like broke his ankle or something, or whatever it was. It looked awful. He's out injured. Remember Stefan Bajcetic? Remember him? He's a figment of our imagination, so he doesn't exist, but he's been out the whole season, as he just always is. You know, you've had a few ticky-tack injuries for Curtis Jones. Wirtz missed a couple of weeks. Obviously, Ekitike now ruptured Achilles, and then Isak, when we signed him, we only got him in after like the first couple of weeks in the Prem. We still played for Newcastle. Then he wasn't fit, and then he got fit, or looking somewhat fit, broke his leg, and now he's back again. So we've barely seen him. So it's been a bumpy ride this season. It really has, and this is what we're left with now. And that's why I think in this game it's easier and harder to pick the team for Liverpool. So I think these are going to be the players that start the game. I can't really see anyone else who might start this game who didn't start, who would be available, except possibly Rio, but I would be shocked if Rio starts away at Everton, to be totally honest. I don't think that would happen. So for me, this is going to be the team. Isak, I think, will get a rest in this one after his play against PSG. He only played a half. Maybe there's a chance he starts again. I would want him to start, of course. We need to get him the ball more. He needs to get involved more. It comes from both parties there. 100 million % it does. So we'll see. I think he'll go Gakpo up front, personally, after, in Slot's mind, I'm sure he had a strong showing there against PSG. I don't think he was great at all, but he was, more effective than Isak, let's put it that way, against PSG. He actually touched the ball. Salah also comes in to start after his pretty good performance against PSG. That means Virtus is on the left-hand side, I think, unless he goes to Diamond and he plays Gakpo, Salah, split strikers. And speaking of split strikers, that's how I'd like him to line up with this team maybe in this one. We've not really got that focal point. And Gakpo, for me, is not a striker. He's not really much of a left winger either, but he certainly isn't a striker in my eyes. So I'd like to see him on that left wing. Well, we have seen him in the past be decent every now and then. I'd like to see us maybe deploy a box in the middle with the 2 false 10s. We did this one time last season against City with Szoboszlai, and I believe it was Jones as part of them false 10s, and it worked really, really well. I'd like to maybe see that. He won't do this, absolutely he won't, but I would maybe like to see that. Instead, I think it'll be Wirtz on the left, Szoboszlai as that advanced midfielder, and Gakpo as the number 9. So we'll see. So that's what I think for the team. What did Slot say in his presser ahead of this game? Anything to note for you guys watching? Well, he did say that the future looks bright when he was asked about transfers for the summer. Obviously, this comes up as we approach the summer window now. We've got injuries to obviously talk about. Maybe we'll need another striker with Ekitike going down. Will we need other players with Salah leaving, Robertson leaving? It sounds like we do. Slot said Salah and Robertson will need to be replaced. He also said, like he said, the future looks bright, but then he said nothing else specifically about, players or numbers that will be coming in. He did say, though, that Kostas Tsimikas, remember him, is expected to leave in summer. So that's not really news. We need a big window, that's for sure. And he also said in the presser slot that he thought that we were the better team in midweek. That's an interesting comment. We lost 2-0 again, obviously, at home again. And whilst I don't fully disagree with his comment, I do think this is where he's basing that on. Slot is a very data-driven manager. He really is. And I think when he looks at these stats and he sees 53% possession against PSG, 21 shots to their 12, 1.97 expected goals to their 1.09. I think he'll look at that and he'll think, we outperformed them. We should have won that game, He did say also that bodes well for the derby, both physically and performance-wise. So clearly he's feeling quite confident, especially off the back of that performance. He's thinking, we did all right there against PSG. It's an interesting one. We actually had less big chances than PSG. When you look into the data a little bit more, they had 3 big chances, we had 2. They obviously scored 2 goals. It was 4-0 on aggregate. It's not like, to me, obvious that we played better. We were certainly better for 25 minutes, that's for sure. The second half performance was encouraging, and for those 25 minutes before Dembele scored, it was really good. Like, we played some good stuff. It looked like we were going to score. We've had them pen back. That was nice to see. We don't do that for long enough spells, and I do think we'll struggle to do that at Hill Dickinson as well, with the atmosphere, and with Everton making it really difficult to do that to them. So, I was having a look at our output and where we can maybe come, help Everton get unglued and who in our team is going to step up. And I was looking, I've not looked in a long time, at goals and assists for our players this season. Now, Ekitike in the Premier League is our top goal scorer. He has 11 goals, which isn't loads, to be honest. But I'm looking at the next players. Who do you think is next on the list of top goal scorers for Liverpool this season? If your guess was a tie between Cody Gakpo and Mo Salah with 6, then you win. Because that's second place for us. It's so poor. 6 goals from your 2 wingers, Salah and Gakpo. Both of 6 goals to be your second highest goal scorer in the league in April is so bad. Not had that consistent output this season at all. Really disappointing. And that is why we are where we are. And where are we in the table? Well, if we're doing table time this week, as we will do for the rest of the season, all we've got left to play for is the Premier League and that top 5 finish, we are actually somehow 3 points off third. And that is as much a shock to me as it is to anybody watching this video. How on earth we are 3 points off third is completely baffling to me. But we are. And to help us again this weekend, United actually played Chelsea. So one of those 2 is going to drop points. Whether that's United or Chelsea, unclear as of yet. We shall see. As well this weekend, of course, Villa, another team we are 3 points behind, as well as United. They are playing Sunderland. Not the easiest, not the hardest game, but Villa definitely been on a bit more of a slide than some of the other teams in and around us as of late. Maybe they might drop points again and open the door for us to catch up on them some more. So we have a 4-point buffer on Chelsea. We're 3 points away from United and Villa. Can we capitalise again? We've got to keep picking up points because our running is difficult and we have to get Champions League. We just have to. I cannot bear Thursday nights in the Europa League. I honestly can't bear it. I can't make videos about us playing teams in God knows where on a Thursday night. I can't do it. If we lose one more game this season, which I'm pretty confident we will lose at least one more, it'll be the first time we've lost 10 games in a season. Get this, since 2014-15. 2014-15, guys. We lost 12 that season. And it will be the most losses in a season by the reigning champions since Leicester. Now that is shocking. It really, really is. Yet, somehow, we're still on for third. So, I don't really understand this season at all. But, let's go and talk about Everton, our opponents this week. Obviously, the Blue Noses. Let's see how the Ev might line up this weekend. Alright, so here they are then, our neighbours, of course, in Merseyside. This is the team I've got for them predicted this weekend. I've got Jordan Pickford in the goal, the T-Rex himself, with Mikalenko, Bramthwaite, Tarko and O'Brien at the back. James Garner and Idrissa Garner-Gay in the middle, with Dewsbury Hall ahead of them as a number 10. I've got Iliman and Jai on the right wing, McNeil on the left wing. They could easily be swapped over and played on the opposite side. And then Beto Chuckle up front, brother of Barry Chuckle. Beto and Barry Chuckle, obviously Everton's strike force this season. Beto is going to lead the line, I am 99% sure, against us this weekend. Because he's in red hot form. He is in absolute red hot form. 4 goals and an assist in his last 5 Premier League games. When you factor in that Salah and Gakpo have scored 6 each this season, Beto's scored 4 in his last 5. That shows the level that our players have been at this season, I think, where Beto has almost scored as many as Salah in his last 5 games alone. Beto. Let that sink in. Only Bruno Fernandes actually has more goal contributions with 7 than Beto's 5 since February 28th in the Premier League. That is astounding. Beto Chuckle is doing this, ladies and gents. It's crazy. But he's not only Beto who's playing well for Everton this season. It's James Garner has had a great season. He's in England shouts all of a sudden. Everyone's losing their mind over James Garner. And to be fair, rightly so, he's had a really, really good season. He's created 11 big chances this season, which is a stat that really sticks out. Why does it stick out in particular? Because that's more than any single Liverpool player this entire season has created big chances. There's not a single player in our team who's created more than James Garner's 11. Everton also, as a team, are in pretty decent form. They have 10 goals in their last 5 Premier League games. And their only loss in those last 5 Premier League games is to Arsenal, which is nothing really to sniff at, even if Arsenal are trying their best to bottle the league for like the 4th year in a row. We, on the other hand, have scored 3 goals in our last 5 games in all competitions. 3. That is really bad. But there we go. So Everton flying high, us not so much. You know, nobody's chucking Lonsdales at the TV anymore as an Everton fan. They've settled down from that era where it was, relegation seasons. They had blue smoke puffing out their ears. They're throwing toffees all over the streets of Liverpool. Happy Liverpool fans walking around. Those days at the minute are on pause. There's not as much booing going on. It's all happy as Larry over at the Hill Dicky, and that is where the first derby is going to be this season. I mean, the first time we're ever playing a derby at the Hill Dicky. We would be lying, I think, if we said as Liverpool fans right now that we're looking forward to this game. I certainly am not. I'll be watching with a blue. It's going to be rough. I'm not looking forward to it, but I would like to say that I am climbing a mountain tomorrow. Again, I'm on a mountain expedition as training for the 3 peaks in summer. And I will, in fact, have my Divock Origi AC Milan t-shirt that's one of one in the world. I'm the only person who owns that t-shirt, that football shirt even. I will have that on, doing my bit for the team the day before with the Origi, praying to the Origi gods to help us win this derby. So, I'm doing my bit. What are you doing, guys? That's what I've got to say. We can't afford to lose this first derby at the new ground, just like we did losing the first Premier League derby at Goodison. I had a little look at this today. We lost the first derby 2-1 at Goodison, and Peter Beardsley scored the winner late on in the game, which is just a really interesting, weird, quirky thing. Let's hope our fate is better this time, the first Premier League derby at Everton's new ground. So Everton are 8th in the league. They are 1 point off of 6th. They are only a couple behind Chelsea in 5th. Like I said, they've only got one loss in the last 5 to Arsenal. They are 14th, though, when it comes to the home table. That is where they struggle. And it's actually at home. So maybe this suits us playing here rather than playing them at Anfield. We obviously beat them 2-1 earlier in the season at Anfield when we didn't realise everything was not as sunshine and rainbows as it might have seemed in the summer. We hadn't quite clocked that yet. They only have 6 wins from 16 at home this season. They are much better away. That said, though, they have won their last 2 games at home. So maybe they're picking up a bit of form, getting a bit of it into the swing of things now. Can they make it 3 in a row against us? Hopefully not. Now, where do Everton's strengths lie? Well, they're not good at keeping the ball. That's not their game at all. It's never been Moyes' game. They are 17th in average possession. They are very much an antithesis of Liverpool's style, and they are 4th in clean sheets, despite the fact they don't keep the ball. They are resolute. They defend compactly. This is all trademark Moyes, a hallmark of how he sets his teams up. They are massively outperforming their expected goals, both offensively and defensively as well. So that could show a bit of luck. It could show good finishing, good setup from the manager. You know, they are rigid, good goalkeeping. It could show their expected goal difference is actually -9, and their actual goal difference is +2. So they are outperforming their XG by almost 11 goals there. I mean, they are flying. They are 14th. If it was if the expected goals table showed you the true Premier League table, they'd be 14th, and we would actually be 3rd. So we're not that far off being in line with our performance. It just shows Everton are outperforming maybe a little bit where they are, and that could be a good thing for us, that they're not maybe this all-commanding, scary blue team this weekend, when we can actually maybe cause them some damage. I hope. I'm not confident, guys. I'll be so honest. Let's go and do Super 6 to finish off today's preview. No clips in this one. I didn't feel like it was really relevant in this game. The derby, everything goes out the window. It's a one-off type game. It always has been. Let's go look at Super 6, see if I can win some money. Right then, let's have it this week. Super 6, Leeds against Wolves. As always, let's have a little look. Everyone thinks Leeds, and they need another big win here, Leeds, and this, I think, will guarantee them safety, so I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go a 3-1 win to Leeds. The mighty Leeds did a job for us, didn't they, on Monday? What an absolute hero of a team they are. Spurs, Brighton. Oh, wow. Spurs, are they going to go down? Are they really going to go down? I actually fancy Spurs in this one. I don't know why. De Zerbi against his old club. I'm going with a 2-1 Spurs win. I'm going against the grain. Chelsea United, a big game for us, hopefully. Like, what do we even want? Do we want Chelsea to get the win, so then we can maybe catch United? Do we want United to get a result so we can get away from Chelsea? Do we want a draw to help us in both aspects? I think we probably want a draw. Will I listen to that, or will I go with something different? Who knows? I don't quite know what I want, and I don't know what I want for Liverpool Everton either. I'm just going to have a little... I'm going to do what my instinct tells me, and I'm going to go 2 to Chelsea and 2 to United. I don't know why that's gone in, but it has. And then my brain just told me 2-1 to Liverpool against Everton. So I've just put it in, haven't I? I've just gone pure instinct there. Villa, Sunderland. Villa, the favourites here. Yeah, I'm confident with that one. Maybe let's say a 2-0 win to Villa. Just like, am I? Yeah, I think I am. But if that's the one that fails... I think I know why. City, Arsenal, this is the big game in a title race this season, the one we've all been waiting for. Will Arsenal capitulate? I think they absolutely will. I'm going to go, am I going 2-0 as well? I think I'm going to go 3-0, you know. I think City could whitewash Arsenal in this game. I really do think they could. 5th minute for Super 6. And let's see if we get any luck this week. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's preview. I really do hope that you did enjoy it. And if you did, please do leave a like on the video. We are trying to get to 35 likes on every video If you did enjoy, please do click that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We are chasing 500 subscribers. Please do click subscribe for the Derby. Podcast listeners, 5-star rating and reviews. You guys all know what to do. I will speak to you, of course, on Sunday for the ratings. Hopefully, happy ratings, party ratings for a Derby Day win. Until then, everyone, enjoy your weekends, and I'll speak to you all in the next one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.